Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a raid Shadow Legends video. We've got champion buffs. Jing Wan is in the house for some buffs. We've got some others as well. I'm going to go through them in this video. I guess before I do that, let's get into some of the SHARD news. I don't often do the SHARD news videos, but figure, seeing as I'm doing a video anyway, I might as well do it. So we've got a video. No, we haven't. We've got SHARD drops coming tomorrow when the Clan v Clan goes live. I'd also recommend, if you're going to do summons with your souls, do that tomorrow as well. I said about this last time because you will get Clan versus Clan points tomorrow. You won't get them today. It's probably too late for a bunch of you, but there you go. Interestingly, I've not pulled any souls since the last time they did this 2 times. I've actually earned a lot. I'm going to have the best part of 80 souls of the small ones, and then obviously 9 of the mid-sized ones. It's quite a decent amount in that much time, but just shows doing the different events, doing the Hydra hits, all that type of stuff does actually pump these up to a decent level nowadays. They've added them in a lot of places. All right, let's talk about the SHARD events for tomorrow then. So it says here Tuesday the 2nd, there's going to be a progressive chance event. So starting on the 15 times, going up if you pull different champs. So we've got, and how long is this going for? We've got some for Tuesday, we've got some for Wednesday, each of them lasting just 24 hours. So let's just have a quick look through, call out the big ones, I guess. Wow. Okay, so one of the voids is Mariska, still top tier, still one of the best champs in the game. Mariska's going to be in the mix on voids for tomorrow. And the other void champion for tomorrow is actually going to be a Surga, who's nowadays kind of massively out of the meta. Was an arena champion, or still is, I guess, but an arena champion that kind of protects other champs in terms of the amount of damage they're going to take. She also brings things like ally protect and strengthen. Actually a decent champ, but probably just been power crept a fair amount in arena lately. The other champs, which are non-void, are, I'd say, okay. There's nothing too big to call out. There is a Lizard in there who is still solid, very good for live arena and general carry. Pythion's in the mix. We've got the White Queen, Ancora, who was a recent fusion. Very underrated legendary, honestly. Especially if you've got the pairing. But even if you haven't, she's really solid in terms of got a good revive. She's got cleanse, shielding going on. I did see, I think Shinny said better than Duchess on a video, or I saw a thumbnail anyway, insinuating that better than Duchess and Cora as a kind of like support role. Yeah, I mean, outside of that, again, none of these are bad, I guess, but also not that great. Ruark here, he does bring the taunt, so he can help you with some of that Hydra shenanigans if you wanted to try and keep all of the heads from eating you. You got the AoE decreased attack, pretty decent, but nothing too crazy. And then the last one for tomorrow is Diath. Actually, don't have her myself. So we've got here the increased defense, AoE hit with the buff increase. It's pretty cool. Reflect damage, ally protect. I mean, decent champ again, but nothing, I wouldn't say like top tier. Pretty cool. If you're going to pull shards, well, if you pick her up, not too bad. On the Wednesday, okay, Wednesday is where it's at for non-voids. So we've got the big boy, the person you definitely want 2 of, Newt, in the mix. If you got him for the fusion going back a while, damn, best fusion we've ever had. Is it? Probably is, right? Newt is just so crazy. I've got 2. I use both in a lot of my teams. So Newt is going to be available then. We have got Lady Kimmy as well on the Wednesday. We've got Valk on the Wednesday. Used to be probably one of the best legendaries. Now, I don't know. Does she even make top 20? Not sure. But good clan boss champ. Actually not a bad arena champion as well. And general sort of decent carry. We've got Lissandra, Speed Freak. Loads of turn meter control stuff going on. Again, I feel like she's been power crept now. There's loads more doing similar jobs, but with more going on, but pretty decent still. And then in terms of the voids, we have got, I always forget where this guy is. I think he's here, is he? How many factions until I find him? I don't even know. I'm guessing at this point. Here he is. Carolon the Ringer. Got his Christmas bells and reef out. This guy, I think's pretty basic, really. For a Void Legendary, I think you can do a lot better than this guy. He's decent enough. He's got AoE Hex and Weaken, I guess. So not going to be terrible, but I don't think he's that great either. But the last one, it's probably been up there as one of my most wanted as well. So I've got a choice here. Yumiko or Marishka. Yumiko enabling some of that kind of like crazy Trunda action. Generally an insane A3 where she's increasing the cooldown of skills of the enemy whilst reducing the cooldown of your skills. Yumiko's just been top tier since she came out. So yeah, so that's the Shard events. Again, you know, if you're doing things like the fusion or you're planning to do the fusion, then you need to ask yourself that question. Are you going to be pulling shards or not? Let's get into the champion buffs. 2 champions in the mix here. And I mean, both of them, I would say, needed a buff. So we've got 2 legendaries in the mix. One's a void, one's not. Both of them definitely needed that buff. Let's start with the non-void. She's a skinwalker and was actually, I think, again, a fusion. So we've got here Loriaka the Great Hoof. Pretty sure this was a fusion. I didn't do it if it was because I felt like just quite a weak champ. Double hitter here. Each got a chance to steal a buff. AoE decrease resistance here with some turn meter fill. And then block buffs for your team with some turn meter fill. So okay champion, right? The passive fills turn meter again. So it's just like a bunch of turn meter mechanics within her kits. Was okay, but nothing too crazy when she came out. Let's have a look at the changes here. It says here, with the rebalance of the Great Hoof, our main goal was to shift her focus on providing more utility aid for the team in PvE battles with the help of new buffs and debuffs in a skill set. Okay, well, good. There's definitely needs it. As well as getting more turn meter boost as well. Okay, so Deprive, which is the A1 here. So we've still got the double hits, still the 40% chance of stealing a buff, but then also fills this champion's turn meter by 10% for each buff stolen. Honestly, it's not really much of a change for the A1. Okay, because that's a bit of a... It's okay. I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, but you're still likely to steal, what, 1 buff per attack. So you get basically getting a turn meter, a 10% turn meter to steal or just fill. No, just 10% turn meter fill if you do get that away. So the A2, the Great Hoof Stampede, attacks all enemies, still got the decrease resistance, also decrease accuracy coming on this as well, and then fills this champion's turn meter by 10% for each debuff placed. So you've now got a chance to place 2 debuffs, let's say on average against 4 enemies, okay, or against 5 enemies maybe. So if you place all of those debuffs, you're going to get 100% turn meter fill. Damn. I mean, you're going again. So it's on a 3 turn. Basically means it's on a 2 turn because you're going again straight away. It's basically an extra turn mechanic. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Decrease resistance and decrease accuracy on an enemy is okay. I'm still not really sure where you're using this champion. This is the problem with the Great Hoof right now. It's like, where are you needing those skills? That's what I'm not sure about. Anyway, let's check the A3. So Dance of War. You've got the block debuff staying for 2 turns. Also given an increased accuracy buff at the same time. And you still got your turn meter fill. So you now got block debuffs and increased accuracy on your team as well. And then the passive stays the same. Fills the turn meter by 5% for each time an ally buff is removed or stolen or whatever. So doubling down on turn meter, more debuffs, more buffs, better chance to get extra turns. I'm not sure that it changes this champion, honestly. I don't know. Where do we need these skills is what I'm not sure about. But anyway, let me know what you think down below. The second one then, so I've already told you, Jingwan. Jingwan is in. He's ready. He's ready for some action. I think he had 1 buff already, right? He had a buff where he started to come out of the vault for some people. So we're going again. It says here, with the upcoming changes, Jingwan's role will shift from HP tank towards more of a supporting type of champ. His reworked kit will grant Jingwan more control over his enemies, a chance to land a stun, an additional AoE that prolongs debuffs, and a chance to remove all enemy buffs. And finally, more useful debuffs in his arsenal. So what's going on here? We've got currently attacks an enemy transfers debuffs, attacks an enemy with a chance to increase the duration of all debuffs on a target. Also places block active turns or block active steals for 3 turns. That's big if they're under these debuffs. And this book's down to a 2-turn. And then we've got the AoE double hitter, placing the decreased accuracy and the decreased crit damage and giving you strengthen. The passive, he's immune to any kind of like stuns and stuff, anything which is immobilizing. And he's got this active, which books to a 4-turn. At the end of each enemy or ally turn, removes all of the debuffs which are immobilizing from allies and places block debuffs onto for 1 turn on allies who have had debuffs removed. He may well have already been the answer to Armand's all this time, by the way. Potentially. I wonder if anyone's already used him for that. So, what's going on? Doom Exchange. Same as it was, adding a 50% chance to stun now on the A1. Much better A1. That's a big change. 50% chance to stun going on for 1 turn. Compound Calamity. So instead of attack 1 enemy, this is now attacks all enemies with a 75% chance of increasing the duration of all debuffs on all enemies by 1 turn. That's pretty cool, actually. Also places block active skills and block buffs for 2 turns. Completely changed kit, okay? Block active skills and block buffs for 2 turns, as well as increasing the duration of debuffs. That's a way better A2. Tons better. Really, actually, it's a really good A2. Block active skills for any wave-based content means they're only using the A1s against you. And block buffs, obviously, is good in a ton of areas as well. Even just Hydra that block buffs is good. So that is a way better A2. Its cooldown is increased to 5 turns, but you can still reduce it by 2. So it would be a 3-turn. That's way better. Okay. Power Flare. Still attacks all enemies 2 times. The first hit, 80% chance of removing all buffs from all enemies. The first hit. The second hit places the decreased accuracy and decreased crit damage. So these 2 elements are now the second hits. And then we still get the strengthen as well. Way better A3 as well. Okay. Xingwan. Still got his passive. Nothing's changing on his passive. Is that enough? I feel like that's enough for Xingwan. Block active skills on all enemies, plus block buffs. Decrease accuracy, decrease crit damage on this skill, as well as removing all buffs from enemies. Chance to stun here. The passive was already good anyway. Surely, buff 2 has got to get Xingwan out of the vault. Doesn't look like there's any damage changing to any of this stuff. So the way they hit is the way they hit. But surely, Xingwan. How many times did YST say it? Was it 100 or 1,000? I don't know. But maybe it's finally worked. Let me know what you think down below. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you soon.